Hello Stitchy friends, it's Chari. Welcome back to my channel. So today is Flosstube number 6. I have been trying to film every 2 weeks, but it's been about 3 weeks since I've seen you last. We were busy last weekend with a friend in town. We did some activities, one of which was a red wine and chocolate tasting at Biltmore Winery. I'm not a wine drinker. I do love chocolate though. But it was really fun. I actually really enjoyed it. So if you're ever in town and you're going to Biltmore to tour the house and the estate and the winery, it was actually a fun kind of additional ticketed thing that you could do. So I recommend it. As a non-wine drinker, I had fun. So I would recommend it if you do enjoy wine or chocolate. What else have I been up to? Oh, we went to Dollywood on Sunday, which is why I couldn't do any filming last weekend. It was a little chilly. It's spring here in the mountains, and that means the weather can change on a daily, hourly basis. It can be 70 one day and then the next day 25, which is about how our weather has been. I also have been up to, I have 2 new patterns for the embroidery hoop for Lawn Fawn, which I talked about in the last video, that I work for Lawn Fawn and we make patterns for this little hoop. We had some Easter requests, like, where are the Easter patterns? So I had to hop to it and make some Easter patterns. So this is Hop to It. That's the name of this pattern of the little bunny. And then this is the Exceptional Egg. So these are on the Lawn Fawn website. They are free patterns. You could stitch these and make little tiny covered buttons too if you are not a paper crafter. So I'll put a link to that in the description box below. Let's see, the other thing I've done since we spoke last is I posted a finishing tutorial video. I've had a lot of good feedback, and I will, this corner, I will put a link to that video tutorial. Hopefully you find it helpful. I feel like a lot of people did. I don't think finishing needs to be terribly complicated. I think it's a lot of fun because you kind of get to make that finished piece come to life in lots of different ways. So hopefully you find it helpful. I do have footage to do another one. Hopefully I can get around to that. And also I've been stitching and watching basketball. I'm an NC State grad and the Wolfpack is having a great tournament season. It's very exciting to watch. Normally we're kind of done at this point. So that's been fun. I've been stitching a lot while I'm watching basketball, which is why I have a piece of haul that is completely finished. Well, not completely finished. It's completely stitched. Hopefully I can finish it today. And if you follow me on Instagram or if you're in Nichols Facebook group, you know what I'm talking about because I've been trying to post a picture almost every day of my progress. So I am excited to share that with you today. And I have a lot to share. So let's get going. Okay, let's start with haul. So I did get the patterns I had pre-ordered from Market, I should say, from Chantal. One of them is the Hands-On Design Spring Folk. This is the one that I've finished, so I will show you that. But it was a haul pattern. I started working on it the day it showed up, but I was really excited to work on this because I already have the finishing piece and I know that there are all the other seasons coming, so I did not want to wait on this one. I also got the Botanical Bee. I have already kitted this up with floss just from my stash. I did not purchase all the floss that's called for. I just found things that were close. So I already have that kitted up with the fabric, which I already had as well, which will be juniper. I'm not sure when I'm going to start this. I considered briefly, and you can leave a comment if this is something you think I should do or you would want to do. I considered doing a stitch along. I've never done a stitch along before, but my birthday is at the end of May and I thought it might be fun to do it as a birthday stitch. So if you have this and you want to stitch and you want some motivation, maybe leave me a comment and I will consider it. It would be pretty informal, but anyway, that is the Botanical Bee. I also got the Gather Wildflowers, and I have already pulled my floss for this and kitted it up as well. Actually, it's not all there. I think I obviously kitted what I had, and I think I did write down the other colors, and I just haven't put them in there yet. And I did get the platinum. Mine is Lugana. I think hers is on linen, but this is the fabric for this one. So I'm excited to start this one. I also got the paddles as well. I don't think I pulled them out to show in the video, but I did pre-order the paddles and those came as well. And then continuing on with the hands-on design, because you know I love it. This is the Gather Blessings. This one is also going to be a 4-part series. It is stitched on the same fabric as the rounds and with the same colors. So of course I had to pick that one up as well. I got Gather at the Table. I have not kitted anything for this, and I'm not even sure what fabric I want to do, but I loved this one as well. To me, this one feels very fall, so I may kind of set it aside for a little while and work on the spring stitching. And then I also got Liberty Pennies. I have not kitted this one up either. I feel like for this one, I may pull things from my stash, and I do have some color and cotton, the new denim color coming, and I think that this might look really cool on a dark blue instead of the slate. So that is yet to be determined how I'm going to stitch this one, but I'll probably start this one pretty soon too, because July is going to probably sneak up on us pretty quickly. I also got my Color and Cotton March 2024 Thread Club threads. This one was kind of fun because instead of them all going together, this half of it, which, yeah, this was, if you get 5, you get this, and if you get 10, you get these. This was kind of a nice neutral pack. And these are all kind of messed up because I was looking at these to pull colors for my botanical bee at first, but I didn't end up using any of them. So these were the 10 skeins all colors. That is the one that, yeah, all colors is the one that I am subscribed to. This is a really pretty rainbow of colors that I really love, that Marina color, and Pickle is a really nice green too, actually. So I liked the selection of the colors this time. I kind of liked that it was all very bright, very basic color palette. All right, speaking of Color and Cotton, I decided to pick up some Color and Cotton linens that Starlight Stitchery had in stock. Since trying to stitch on linen, I've decided that I don't hate it as much as I thought I would, and I want to continue to give it a try on some projects. So they had some beautiful colors in stock, and I already took them out of these noisy glassine bags so that hopefully I don't crinkle too much. This one is called Cottage Stone, and it is a really pretty kind of grayish, warm gray color. And I think that this is a really beautiful color, and I can't wait to figure out what to stitch on this. This one might be good for that Gather at the Table stitch, possibly. The next one I got was called Aged Paper, and this one is a very warm pinky reddish tone to it. I think that this would be really pretty for a fall stitch. And all of these are 32, kind of branching out on the size a little bit too. And then this one is called Vanilla, and this one is really pretty. It's very warm, neutral color. Not sure what I wanted. This one might also be good for the Gather at the Table. Honestly, all of these might be. So I'm not really sure what I want to stitch on all these, but I just really loved the colors. And so I picked those up. I do have another fabric that I got from Starlight Stitchery. This one is Bestitch Me, and it is actually an Aida. in the colors Sand Dollar. And I do have a plan for this, and the reason why I bought this and bought an Ada is because I could not find the right count with the right look that I wanted for a project. And I'm going to be using this for, I believe it's called the Coastal Holiday ornaments from Hands On Design. I do have the called for, but it's a bigger count than what's called for, and I wanted to get the right count so that I could cut the shapes out and make the ornaments correctly. And this one I think is going to work perfectly. I do have 2 more fabrics that arrived, and I'll be honest, I ordered these in like July, and I kind of forgot about them because they were back ordered, but they just arrived. This one is a 28 count Lugana called Masquerade. It is really pretty. It's got that beautiful kind of jade juniper color, but then it also has these purpley splotches in it, and I think this would be pretty. I'm not sure what I'm going to use it on, but I do think it's really pretty. So I will just add that to my stash. And the other one is called Cauldron, which is this pretty gray color, but it also has these kind of rusty spots on it, which I think are really pretty. Hold on, let me unfold it a little more. So it's a pretty kind of purpley bluish gray with these rust colored splotches. I think this would be fun for like a Halloween stitch maybe. So I will be adding that to my stash to use on a future project that I don't know what it is yet as well. I did pick up a very small count, not very small, it's 36, Vintage Country Mocha. I want to try this with the Spring Awakenings chart. That's the 2 bunnies from Brenda Gervais. The model is stitched on a 40 count, and I am not ready for that, but I think I could handle this, especially with 1 strand. So that's why I picked that up. And then from my local shop, Annabella's, I picked up this pattern. I looked at it a few times the time we went to Annabella's, and I did not grab it, and I just kept thinking about it. This is a new to me designer, so I ordered it from the Etsy store and it arrived. There's also House on Strawberry Hill and Pear Hill, I think, but this is the one I like the best. And I'm not sure why. It's not really necessarily my style, but I really like it, and I like the colors. And then finally got a couple floss colors. I think that this one might have been in the Liberty Pennies. I don't even remember why I picked these 2 up. But I'll put that in my stash, use those for a project. And then I also picked up some trims. I decided I wanted to try out some chenille trims. So I picked up a couple of those from Lady Dot Creates, and while I was ordering, I picked up Pom Pom, which I haven't tried before, but I thought that this bright red might be pretty with the Liberty Pennies or any other patriotic stitches as well. So that is, oh wait, no, one more thing. I also got these boutonniere pins. No, I just got this from Amazon. The way I got this was to try making my own long pin. I want to put like a tiny wooden spool at the top to make like a decorative pin for my stack of Biscornus, because that is the picture that is in, that's on the book, is like a pin with the little spool, and so that's why I picked these up. And I just got these from Amazon. I think it's a pack of maybe 20. Yeah, 20 boutonniere pins, but I'll link those in case anyone's looking for something like that to try making some decorative pins on their own. All right, let's talk about whips. So I did work on the Little House Needleworks Little Sheep Virtues. This is number 8, and I've gotten to the border. I still have some leaves to do here. I was working on the sheep, and while I had out the ecru, I started my border. So really all I have left is the few leaves up here and the rest of the border, and then this one will be finished as well. I've also put some more work into hands-on design, clover and hive. And I'm sorry I have a needle sticking in here because I was working on it last night. Move it up a little bit. And I've got a lot done on this one. So I have, sorry, there's a bit of a glare. I've moved over to the clovers on the right side. And then I have the top to do, and then I need to go back in and do the white and the bodies of the bees, which are where these are, and then there's a couple in here, and there's some white in those little flowers, and there's also some Smyrna crosses and the back stitching. So I think this one I can finish pretty quickly and pretty soon. The clovers go a lot faster than I expected, so hopefully I can finish this up in the next couple weeks and have it done for summer. And then the other whip I've been working on, which if you watch Nichol Spohr, you know that this is her next Sal, her next stitch along for her Flosstube, was taking the hands-on design triple play pillows. I'm doing the summer basket. I am doing this one right here. And she's going to turn them into Biscornus. And full disclosure, I knew that this was what was going to happen before the rest of you did. And so that's why I have gone ahead and started. This one is one that I think I want to stitch on some different counts of fabric and make a stack like the stack that I'm going to show you I finished. That's the initial plan right now, which I think she mentioned when she talked about it in her Sal would be kind of interesting. This one is 32 count, and this is my first project on linen. This is flax, and it's not bad. I am doing one strand. 2 was a lot. The white that you see here is 2, and then I started the dark red in 2, and it just seems so thick, and I was like, I think I'm going to be frustrated by this. So I took it out, did it with 1, and I thought it looked fine. So I've continued on using 1 strand for everything else. I did change out the lighter red color. Hold on, let me tell you what it is. It was, the called for is DMC 3328, and I just didn't feel like there was enough contrast for me between the two, so I changed mine to 3712. So my pinky color is 3712. So this is where I think I've showed it before. I bought the other counts. This one's 40, this one's 36, this one's 32. I am going to, now that I've made a stack of Biscornus, which I keep pointing up here, here it is. Now I know kind of the sizes they need to be. I'm kind of excited about it. We'll see, but that's the plan right now. So I'm starting with this one. I thought that would be, it feels like it's the one with the most coverage, so I thought that would be good on the largest square. This one I think might be good for the smallest, and maybe this one in between. So I will put Nicole's a link to the Facebook group. She has a Facebook group, and that's where she announced the Flosstube Sal. You could pick any of the triple play pillows any season. You could change the colors. You could do whatever you want, really. There's no rules. And then she's going to teach us how to make a Biscornu, which is a lot easier than I think it looks like it's going to be. After I've made one, they are really fun to make. So I will put a link to the Facebook group with that information, and I'll also put a link to her video where she talks about her Sal. And maybe you will join us. And that is all my whips. So now let's talk about finished pieces. So one little thing I finished, which I started last year. Last year I got the bunnies and the carrots done. So I picked this up and I thought I need to finish this before Easter and do the baskets and the chicks. And this is hands-on design. Plaid All Year Hoppy Easter. And I really need to probably finish. think I'll finish this today, hopefully, if I can find a fabric in my stash that works, and put it on my board for Easter weekend. Right now, the only thing I have finished for my on the edge board like this is spring. So I think I need to jump on summer as well so I can get that one finished. I did finish the 4th of July one last year, but it's not fully finished. So I've got a couple things to finish for my on the edge board, and this was from Chantal, which I'll link as well because it's a pretty fun little display piece, and I like that you can fill the bottom with things, and it's small enough to where I can just like sit it in a small space because I don't have a lot of space for decorating in my house. Now the other thing I have finished, not fully finished yet, but I will today because I have the board. I just need to stain it. And I went yesterday to fabric store and picked out a fabric. And this is the Spring Folk, which, as I said, I got 2 weeks ago in the mail, and I immediately started, and I have worked on it every night that I've stitched, and I love it. I was excited to stitch this piece. It has some fun specialty stitches, which Kathy at Hands On Design just did a video for. I did those last because I stitched a hoop and I didn't want them to kind of get crushed. I like that they're really separated on here, so I could put my hoop here and not smash what I had done here. I could put my hoop here and it wouldn't affect those, which was nice. I did actually, this is 32, the call for is 32 count driftwood linen by Fabrics by Stephanie. This is 32 count Lugana in driftwood by Fabrics by Stephanie. And what I found when I started at the top was, again, kind of like the Biscornu or the triple play pillow I was talking about earlier. When I started getting to where I had to fill in these things, actually I started with these little triangles at the top, and they are 2/2. And I was so slow, and it felt so thick because these holes are so small that I thought this is going to make me crazy. So I started on these other colors with one strand, and I think it looks fine. I think it looks just as full. It's kind of more delicate. So I kind of went where the floss takes me. Let's just say that. So there are parts that are 2/2, like these triangles, the little white stitches. These are 2/2. I did 2/2 for the letters so that they would stand out. All this in here is 1/2 till I got to the letters again, which are 2/2. This uses the pearl cotton, so it's got that nice fun texture. I went back to 1 for all of this. I did 2 for these letters. I did 2 for this white. So you can kind of see when you look at the white on this little square, which is 2 strands, versus the bunny, which is 1. But I still love it. I like it. At first, when I did the bunnies, I thought I might rip them out and do 2, but I think they're fine. I'm going to leave it. I kind of like the more subtle look of this. I think it makes it look kind of more oldie and antique, like a sampler. And honestly, samplers are not my thing. I don't really like them, but I love this one. And I think it's because it's small, it's in little chunks. And really, the other motifs are more, take up more of this stitch than the letters. The letters are just kind of supporting actors, let's just say. So I'm going to finish this today, and then I'm waiting for Kathy to put out summer because I'm going to start stitching that one as soon as I get it as well, because this one was really fun. I liked the bands. I like that it's only like 3 inches wide. You could finish a chunk in a night, and it felt like you really accomplished something. So that is the Spring Folk. And then my fully finished project is my stack of Biscornus, and this is from the Between Friends. Holy, grab the book. a spring sampling. It's this project right here. I think I had made a Biscornu before, but these with the 2 colors were really fun. I will tell you, the big one was the last one I did, and doing these long stitches, it took me 3 tries to get them right. I finally had to break out my magnifying glass because I was struggling. I was on the struggle bus, and I don't know if it's because I was having to go long distances, but I would go around and I'd get to over here and something would be off. And so I'd finally work my way back to figure out where my mistake was. And of course it was like somewhere up here. So I pulled everything out down to the center square twice before I pulled out my magnifier. And once I did that, I was okay. But I love how they turned out. I actually really love the 2-tone. And just for, these are on 32 count. Lugana, this is charcoal, and this is taupe, I believe. Just for some sense of scale, the square when I started, this square was 4 inches by 4 inches. The square for this one was 3 inches by 3 inches. And I know Nichol talked about it, that the bottom, you really don't have to do something all over the bottom. You really only see the corners. So this one was 3 by 3. And then this tiny one was 2 by 2. So when I put them together, I definitely started with my big one. Now I had made a Biscornu before, and I think that they're pretty fun to make. But I started with the big one, medium size, and I did my little tiny one last, which he was a little bit of a challenge just because he's so small, but he's so cute. He turned out so cute. I love the little bees in the corners. So I'm very happy with this project. Again, as I said before, I want to use those boutonniere pins and make a pin that's much longer because the bee pin doesn't go all the way to the bottom. But the bee is cute. It's from just another button company. And the little blue flower, which goes pretty well, is from Cherry Chick Biz. So I'm really excited about my Biscornus. I think they're adorable. And those are all my projects that I have to share today. All right, so I think that is all for today. I will show you my little Biscornus again because they are so cute. And I can't wait to make another Biscornu with Nichol. I'm looking forward to that project. Anyway, if you have some of these market releases from Hands On Design, I would love to hear about it. If you're going to start one, maybe you can help me figure out which one to start next. I was so focused on spring folk because I was like so excited to get it and stitch it that I haven't thought of what to do next. I would like to finish Clover and Hive. I also need to revisit the Seaside Tiny Town because if you watched a previous video, you know that I want to add on to the length of it. And so I bought the Seaside Frill, so I need to go back and revisit that. But if you have suggestions on what I should start next or what you want to see next, I'd love to hear it. Maybe you will inspire me to get stitching on something that you want to stitch on. Do you want to stitch the botanical bee together? Let me know. Maybe we could start kind of an informal sal on that. I've never done one before. First time for everything. So it might be fun. Anyway, I love reading your comments and getting your feedback. You're all so kind and nice. Thank you so much for spending time with me today, taking time out of your day. I know it takes time out of my day to make this video, and so it's nice that you give me some of yours. So until next time, happy stitching, and I'll see you later. Bye.